What's up, guys? Welcome back to Nope or Dope Reviews. I'm Steven. This is my wife, Jen. We just got out from watching Barbie in the theaters, and Jen got her little floaty flamingo for a drink at the theater. So it's been a while since we've done a review together on a movie, so it's just going to be a discussion. The first part's going to be non-spoiler. We'll give our
Hopefully I don't mess that up.
If we mess it up, that's your fault, guys, for coming on here before you've seen the movie. But we'll go no spoilers at the beginning. In the middle, we'll say if we thought it was nope or dope. And then at the end, we'll talk a little bit about spoilers. So we'll go into a little bit details of the movie. So this was Jen's idea to not actually say anything right after we saw it. So I don't honestly know what she really feels about the movie. I think I have a feeling just by judging her reaction in the theater and the reaction of everyone in the theater. But so again, at the beginning, no spoilers. So first thing that comes up to mind for me are the two main actors in this, Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling. For me, Ryan Gosling stole the show for me.
Killed it.
He definitely stole the show
Yeah.
for me. Again, in spoilers, we'll talk about a little bit of details, but Ryan Gosling was super funny in this. He was super hilarious. I mean, we knew the movie was going to be corny at parts. It had to be. They knew what it was. You know, they knew they were, toys, dolls, whatever you want to call it. But Ryan Gosling was hilarious. He also was emotional. What's that?
My cheeks have stopped
cheeks.
smiling so much in the movie.
He was emotional in the emotional parts of this movie that I kind of felt that emotion, and I think it's credit to the director for the timing of that emotion coming from Ryan Gosling, and the same goes for Margot Robbie for me. But before I move on any further, what do you have to say about Ryan Gosling?
I went into this movie thinking, oh gosh, it's going to be so corny. Seeing Ryan Gosling with that beach blonde hair, seeing him be so corny, I was like, oh gosh, how is this actually going to be? And he killed it. Like, there could not be a better Ken, and he was spot on with everything. Like you said, like in the serious times, spot on. Mm-hmm. And the corny, funny times, and it was corny, but it wasn't too corny. It was just, good job, Ryan. Good job. I haven't seen anything with him recently that I can think of.
Yeah.
And like, okay, Notebook number 1 for him, and now Barbie's number 2 for him, for me. Like, yeah.
And so he was in La La Land, where he did dancing and singing, and you get to see that in this, and those were some of the best parts of this movie, were the song and dance numbers, specifically with Ryan Gosling and the other Kens, and I can't stop smiling because
it's so good.
It's so good. It just makes you so happy, and you could tell too. There's a little, and again, I'm not going into too much detail right now, but he's struggling with an aspect of himself, his masculinity, his love for Barbie at the same time. So you kind of see that struggle, and that's why it made it even more
it was funny. It was funny, but there was a serious undertone to it for both Ken and Barbie, which I really appreciated. But yeah, I
agree. And then Margot Robbie, she definitely is Barbie.
She's Barbie.
She looks like Barbie.
There's no one else who could have played Barbie.
Yeah, she's and I'm okay saying this, it's not really spoiling anything, she's the stereotypical Barbie that anyone would think of a Barbie. The way she looks, the way she acts. Margot Robbie steals her scenes as well.
Yeah.
She's not as funny as Ken, and I don't think she was.
Yeah, she's not as funny as Ken.
She's not as funny as Ken, but she's... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, she wasn't really funny as Ken.
Right.
I mean, she had funny times.
Yeah.
But her character in this movie wasn't the one to be that humorous.
No.
Character.
Right. She feels that her Barbie Land world is really the real world in a sense. Even though she doesn't live in the real world, she thought that the real world what they see, who she is what the real world thought she was,
Yeah, well,
and that everyone would
without
accept her.
spoilers.
Yeah, I know, it's hard to do
I
that.
know, so
All right,
let's
I'm gonna stop right there.
Yeah.
Her acting was great.
Yeah.
I talk about emotional beats in this movie. She definitely has a lot more emotional beats that make this, I don't know, more than I thought it would be. I figured there would be because Greta Gerwig's directing this movie, but they didn't show any of that in the trailers. You didn't see any of the heartwarming emotional beats to it that really make this movie more than just what you saw in the trailers. It wasn't just Barbie Land.
But it wasn't too much of the seriousness.
No.
It was just enough to like kind of pull you away from it and get that undertone and kind of get what they're trying to give to us than just a funny Barbie movie.
Did you feel it? Did you feel those emotional beats?
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. There's many themes in this movie that I wasn't expecting. You had mentioned it, masculinity, toxic masculinity.
Yep.
There is a
there's about being in the workplace and that women are not empowering workplaces, and that women are only there to be just a like eye candy or just to be
a stereotypical right,
so it was
woman.
I really appreciated that they were putting that in there, and we can't say more until we
it's hard. We'll get to it soon. But there are definitely themes of masculinity, what people think of women, the women's role in the world.
And that's why I think in Barbie Land all of the women have these very high profile careers.
Right.
Because in the real world, it's not always that way, unfortunately.
Right. It felt a little, it was true, but it seemed a little exaggerated, right? To the extreme, no?
No, I didn't feel it.
You didn't feel it? Okay.
No.
So you felt it, but you just didn't feel it was too extreme?
No, I didn't feel it was, I felt like they were spot on with what they were trying to, the message that they were trying to project out to us, I think I received.
Right. And the aspect of capitalism with Mattel creating these dolls that they feel is the ideal woman, right?
Well, it's the image of what
you think
what women should look like.
Right.
So they should all look this certain way. They should all be this certain size. Their face should be like this. Their hair should be like this. So yeah, it was really good.
Right.
Yeah.
There's definitely the score, the song choices in this. There's obviously some new songs that they just made for this movie where throughout the movie the words changed.
Yeah.
And that definitely worked for me. At the beginning of the movie, I felt like if it had gone on that way the whole movie, I would have struggled with the movie. At first I was like, I don't know how much I could take of this, but as it progressed, when they go into the real world, that's when it started to kick for me, and it just grew throughout the movie. Like the momentum grew, where I started to enjoy it even more and more, to the point I was laughing every other second near the end there.
Yeah.
And then again with those emotional beats, it kind of hits you more so because with the tone of the joking around is so funny, and then it hits you with like the emotional beats, and it got to me. Yeah. So, I guess that's our non-spoiler part of the review, and we're gonna decide right now if it's nope or dope, and we'll go into spoiler. So in 3, 2, 1, dope, guys. That is a double D. If you've seen this movie already, if you think it's dope, type dope in the comments. Make this a triple D, so we can go into spoilers. I'm just gonna put it out there right now. This is hands down the best movie I've seen in a very long time. Really? It's like it's probably the top movie I've seen within the last year. Within the last year, yeah. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. I just saw Oppenheimer, and this Barbieheimer week. I don't know if I could say Oppenheimer is better than Barbie. They're two different movies. Yeah. I'll let you know this. I had more fun with this movie. Oppenheimer's was a serious, dour movie. And I don't know if I could choose right now, but again, the acting was superb in this. I think you're going to get acting nominations for Oscars for Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie?
I would hope so, but I don't see that actually happening. I could see it more for Ryan Gosling, not Margot Robbie, but I feel like I have a hard time seeing them nominate these two characters because of the movie. Yeah, but I mean, they should be. I definitely think Ryan should be nominated.
Out of the two, I think it would be him.
Yeah.
Out of the two that gets it. I just think he was perfect for Ken. I know some people probably maybe weren't into Ryan Gosling for whatever reason and didn't think he would be Ken, but I think his history with singing and dancing added to his appeal to this movie, to the director.
You know, I didn't think he could actually be so funny for some reason.
Have we seen him funny?
I don't know,
recently?
But he was like I could see like a Ryan Reynolds, you know, being hilarious in this, you know, but not Ryan Gosling, and I was pleasantly surprised. You know, when he's singing, you know, his facial expressions are dead on, like his body motions are dead on. It was just hilarious, and the songs, you guys.
So
there's a point in the movie
we could talk about.
There's a point in the movie where they're all singing. All of the Kens are singing to a Barbie on the beach, and it's Matchbox 20's "I Want to Push You Around." Right. I was like laughing so hard inside because I didn't want to laugh hard outside. I had tears coming out.
I had tears in that scene.
Hilarious. And then there's a fight that the Kens against Kens on the beach where they're fighting with like tennis rackets and boogie boards and stuff, and it's just stupidly hilarious.
Yeah, and Ryan Gosling is singing "I'm Just Ken." What exactly do you say? I'm just Ken, but I'm just I don't even remember what he said.
I'm just Ken, but anywhere else I'd be a 10.
And anywhere else I'd be a 10.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's even more funny,
so good.
Even though why it's even more funny is because you feel his love for Barbie throughout the movie. Like, he loves Barbie, and you could tell Barbie wants nothing to do with him in any certain way, right? Not any point that she felt sorry for Ken, and that's what made me feel sorry for Ryan Gosling throughout the movie. I guess
I wasn't really feeling sorry for him because I feel like that was again another message that was trying to be sent to us, that this is I think how a lot of women feel. They fall in love quickly, and they're easily dismissed, or that it could be in their relationship, in their marriage, or anything. And she was treating him, I think, how a lot of women have felt like they've been treated for a long time. There were so many good messages that were sent. Just even when at the beginning of the movie, Barbie wakes up every single day to the same song, and it goes over and over. It's like the Truman Show over and over. But then she starts having these bad thoughts. She's thinking about death. She's thinking about sadness and depression. She's thinking about all these things. And there's a point where I can't remember where she was in the movie. She's like, "Is this the real world? Is this how people are supposed to feel?" And then America Ferrera has this like a beautiful, amazing moment where she's talking to like all the Barbies, and I felt like she was talking to like all of the women. It was like really powerful. And that's the thing, like this movie's so funny, but there's really powerful messages in it. And it really like, it hit me. I was like, wow. Yeah. It was really good.
I think you're right. I think America Ferrera's line, or that moment, that was the most powerful moment in the movie.
Yeah.
And especially for women, right? It's an empowering movie for women. For men who don't like to hear that. Yeah. I'm talking about the neckbeards, the people that talk about how women shouldn't be in movies, or they hate every...
Or in the workforce.
They hate every movie where there's a lead actress. Like, the Marvel's trailer's coming out. That's going to get a lot of hate. But I didn't know America Ferrera would have such a big role in this movie.
I know, it was good.
That was
the premise almost of it was, I feel like, was for Barbie to not like to show, this is not real life. Like, this is not how women are. Not everyone's going to look the same. Not everyone's like, you're not a plastic figure. You can't, unfortunately, you can't be a woman working in the workforce and have it all. You can't have it all and do it all at the same time without having those bad days and showing those emotions, because if you're always perfect, then you're lying to yourself. And I feel like Barbie started to realize that about her own self. Like, there isn't this perfection,
Yeah. And going back to what you said when she first things were started changing, she started having her flat feet.
Yeah.
I really appreciated that moment because you started to feel a change in the tone of the movie when she started having those visions of she thought was a girl, but was actually America, the mother, having those feelings because her daughter was changing. Her daughter didn't really care to be around her, didn't want to play with Barbies.
And I think she also felt like because she works for Mattel, and I think she could draw these amazing things for Barbies, and there she was just being a receptionist, So I feel like she was also feeling those things within herself,
Yeah.
So it was good. It was deep. Like
it's deeper than the trailers made it out to be than what you're expecting.
But it's not too deep. Like that's the thing. It's not too deep. It goes like you have those deep moments, but it's over. Like there's always the humor that comes like right after it, so you're not like what the hell, because there was a point when Barbie and Ruth were talking. They were just in like that solo room
at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean when she met Ruth for the first time?
No. At the end.
At the very end.
And it was just them two.
Creator of Barbie.
And I was like, ooh, it was getting a little too much. It was getting a little too.
I thought it hit the right tone. I think it needed that because the movie's so goofy.
Yeah.
But and credit to again Greta, the director. You could easily mess that up.
Yeah.
To have those different type of tones, it could feel off. But there was a progression throughout the movies, and credit to Margot Robbie for her performance.
Yeah.
Right? It's a solid performance, and it's crying.
It's so much.
But you can feel it that it felt genuine. Like and we've only been with Barbie for like an hour or so, and you could already tell it felt genuine. Like even those subtle scenes when she was talking to the old lady on the park bench or the bus.
Yeah, when she said you're really pretty.
You're really pretty, and it was like, and then the old lady was joking. I know.
Yeah.
But like she already felt emotion there that she's never felt before. It's like, is this what it is to be human?
Yeah.
And then
to not be perfect. It almost seems like she was happier not being perfect.
Right. She didn't know it yet.
Yeah.
She didn't know it yet at that point. And then on the flip side, at the same time she's doing that, Ken is seeing all the guys, bros, all the men. Sylvester Stallone.
Being a man is like having a horse.
Right,
and like
the horse is actually an extension of a man.
A floor-length mink coat and that was, and he creates Kendom instead of Barbie Land. He creates Kendom and takes over, and that results in some hilarious.
Right. So
times.
So how did you feel about that? Because I think I looked at it a different way for Ken. Because he wanted that, time with Barbie, and she always had girl time.
Yeah.
So he saw something else. Oh, in this world, it's people focus on me. Like he was so excited that someone asked him for the time. Remember when he showed his watches?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's
like, I got the time.
Yeah. I think it just goes back to both of them feeling not respected in the world. He's not feeling respected in Barbie Land.
Yeah.
But in the real world, he's very respected.
He thinks he's respected.
Yeah.
And she doesn't feel. Well, it's not her that. She doesn't feel it, and she understands that in this world, women are basically nothing.
Yeah, and it was she was just like gawked after and like.
Yeah.
Was treated as an object. So.
But he liked it. He wanted to be treated like an object because he felt not cared for. Like he was just another Ken, right? He didn't feel appreciated.
But she still didn't want to have anything to do with it.
No, she still didn't want to do with it. Yeah. But she at least felt something.
I think she felt bad for him.
Right. She felt empathy. I don't think she maybe felt empathy towards another guy before.
Yeah.
And in the end, it worked out for both of them. He understood his self-worth.
Yeah.
She understood her self-worth. It's so deep. It's deep.
If he felt his self-worth,
a little bit. He understood. Hey, I could just be Ken.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, here, you have the mink coat.
Yeah.
we're talking super deep about this
I know.
stuff because it is a deep movie.
Deep. But so there were some really fun things that I did appreciate. They brought they had some like old school things from like Barbie Dream House and outfits and their outfits were spot on. I told him like when they are in the scene when they're rollerblading, I'm like, that's our Halloween costumes. Like it was so good. Like all of the outfits were really good.
Is the TV in the back of Barbie one?
For some reason, I don't recall that.
It must be.
I was really like trying to rack my brain to remember that one. I did not remember that one. I was glad they threw in some of the mermaid ones. I was waiting for, which I don't think I saw, was Barbie's pool.
Well, I mean, she went down the slide and it was like a flat pool. I don't know if that's the exact
she had
same
like a
pool.
Yeah, but anyways. But it was neat because the Barbie Dream House, it was open just like the real Barbie Dream House. It was just little things that they put in there that only if you grew up playing with Barbie dolls you would remember. So I appreciated that a lot.
I thought the Mattel crew was funny.
Oh, the Mattel
Will Ferrell. You can't go wrong with Will Ferrell.
Yeah. He was hilarious also.
They were just so stupid.
He was good.
They couldn't even catch Barbie.
Yeah.
That moment when whatever that thing is, you can't cross without using your key card.
Oh yeah.
Barbie just jumps over
like
it.
when you're getting on the BART or what do they call it in New York, like the subway.
The subway.
And you have to go through those little, metal things that spin. And he wouldn't just jump over it. They're all trying to like swipe their cards. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was good. And at the end of the movie, it was good. I don't want to give that away. Just her going.
Well, no, that's fine. Spoilers. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's going where? Like the very, very end? Going to the gynecologist?
Yeah, that was
that was a
hilarious.
surprise. I thought she was applying for a
Mattel?
job. No, I thought she was going to apply
for a job at Mattel, and then
She
she
went
said
to-
a gynecologist, and I was like, and it just left like that. I was like, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, there was a lot of meaning in this movie. It's definitely an empowering movie for women, younger women.
Yeah.
Right?
Older women too. Hello.
Yeah, even though you're not old. And I think for men, maybe for men, some men don't realize that's how the world is because, it's sort of a man's world out there, right? So if they're willing to open up to this movie and just listen a little bit to America's discussion.
America's little speech that she had. Like I want to save that and just repeat it to myself. It was so good. She was very, very. I could almost feel like she was saying it from her heart. Like.
She's definitely saying it.
Scripted,
she's definitely
Like
saying it from her heart.
It was.
It's definitely a different world for women out there.
Yeah.
And one thing that caught my eyes when they're gonna trap Barbie, and they kept calling it the box.
The box. Uh-huh.
So to me,
was there an innuendo with the box?
Yeah. I think it represents women needs to stay in their box. This is your lane.
Staying in your lane.
This is your lane.
And also, I interpreted it as like, get in your box. Like this is where you should be. This is how you should look. This is how you should dress. This is how like all of this. Like just stay.
You stay there. You have this box.
Yeah.
You can't.
And when she took her
out.
hands out of that, because the whole time they were tying
She
it, I
knew.
was like, if she won't take her hands out, I was like stressing over it.
No, and I like that about Margot's performance, or just the direction in general. She just slowly picked up on stuff fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Like she knew she had to, or she would have been trapped. She was feeling emotions she didn't feel in the Barbie land world.
Yeah.
Immediately in the real world, where she's like, this isn't right. She already knows it isn't right. So.
And I'm also curious with the conversation and the little speech that Ruth gave, the creator of Barbie.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was something her family actually like wrote that they wanted to be said in the movie, because I thought it was very good. And then there was always the emphasis on the gold necklace.
Yeah.
That either she was wearing or Barbie was wearing. I can't remember. And
well, was that supposed to be her daughter's necklace?
I don't know. Like I was wondering, is that like a real family heirloom, or because I was trying to think if Barbie had a gold necklace like that back in the day, and for some reason I can't remember. Oh,
I didn't know the whole Ruth person. I really didn't know she was going to be in this. I don't know the backstory.
She really
Barbie.
did name Barbie after her daughter. I know that.
But she's not alive anymore.
I wouldn't
right?
think so.
So that's just yeah.
But then we can't not talk about what would they call it? Weirdo Barbie? Weird Barbie?
Weird Barbie. Yeah,
Played
what's
by
her name? Kate McKinnon?
Yeah, Kate McKinnon. Dead.
Yeah.
She was spot on for that character too.
Yeah, she had that leg up the whole time.
The way that they had her haircut and like drawings on her face is so true. Because I remember my Barbies were life to me. Like I made sure like I would shampoo and conditioner their hair. Like there was no cutting their hair or coloring on them. But I would go to friends' houses and then Barbies be tore up. And that's how weird Barbie looked. And when they had the drawing around, I couldn't even contain myself. It was so good.
No, I just love that aspect of, I didn't know what to expect from this movie. I thought they were just going to go in the real world. I didn't know it was going to be a emotional connection between the person that played with her and who she was. Did anyone play with Ken's? They never mentioned that. And I think that's part of it too, is like Ken's always second place, right? Ken was never.
Honestly, I think I maybe had one Ken doll, maybe. Like, I know I had Skipper, I had all the other, but, like, that were, like, go-offs of Barbie, but I maybe had one Ken doll. Now, I will say, my aunt, and he's seen this, she has a collection of basically every Barbie doll that's ever come out in their original packaging, never opened, and she has them, like, displayed in a closet, and it's amazing. Like, every Barbie doll, and it's so good. Man, I should have gotten her the one from today. Now that I think about it, but that's where I loved, Barbies. Like she got me into loving Barbies, just because of her love of Barbies. So, if I ever destroyed one of my Barbies like that, she would have not been okay.
I just can't. Right now, I'm still thinking about Ken. His Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Yeah.
We kept saying Dojo Casa House. And they're like, you don't have to keep saying Casa House.
I guess I do.
Yes, I do.
And his kingdom. And then the entrance to his kingdom, which is he took over Barbie's dream house, was Western doors, which killed me. And it said kingdom on it.
The whole cowboy
and like
thing.
even when they were just, when they were traveling from Barbie Land to the real world, and they get into the real world, all of it, it was so good. Like when he first pops up in the back of the seat. And then he's squaring off with the other Ken. What's that actor's name?
Simu Liu?
Yeah. He was really good in it also.
I don't know if I loved him in it. So I'm a Simu Liu guy. I love Shang-Chi.
I liked him.
I don't know. He didn't shine for me as much.
Oh, and Alan.
Alan was good.
Alan was hilarious.
Good. Is Alan a real thing?
I couldn't recall an Alan. Unless he's part of the Skipper world. I don't recall an Alan, but who was that? I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, gosh.
The actor for that, he was in...
I can't think of it right now.
He was in...
Everyone knows his face.
But he was hilarious in it. Because when it was all about Ken, he's like, but what about Alan? And then when they were trying to get out of Barbie Land, and Alan was with them, he's like, I guess I'm never getting out of here.
Oh, when he was with America? They're about to get out, they're like, no.
Yeah.
The only, little negative thing, if there was one in this movie, the actress that played the daughter, right? She played that emo character very well.
Yeah.
Like, you hated her. Like,
I didn't hate her.
No, at first when she's treating Barbie the way she was, all right, that's how I felt.
Okay.
But I felt the switch was very quick. Like, she quickly was like, right when she goes to Barbie Land, everything switches off. Not a big gripe. Okay. Maybe she started realizing this is her mom's sort of dream fantasy type thing. Okay. And maybe deep down she did love her mom a lot. But it felt like there was a quick switch where I don't know, it wasn't like a gradual thing. It was just like...
Yeah, that didn't bother me at all.
Did that bother you at all?
No.
Okay. Camera just shut off here for a second. I don't know where we ended at, but we're talking about the daughter of America.
Oh yeah, that bothered you. Yeah, that didn't bother me. I feel like when you get to Barbie Land, everything's like rainbow sunshine, so it's like, But yeah, honestly, like, this is the best movie I have seen in the theater in a really long time. And I know some of you are going to be like, oh my God, really? Because all the Marvel movies, all the, comic book movies. But for me, I had a really good time in it just because this was first it was something I grew up loving. I mean, Barbie dolls, I still remember when I got the Barbie doll dream house, I had the pool in it. I couldn't even contain myself. And then it was like all the little things that they threw in, that you would remember, like the little outfits or the little rollerblades. For some reason, I couldn't remember the rollerblades being yellow, but they could be correct. But the serious message that was being given, I really appreciated, and I was pleasantly surprised because I was not expecting any substance in this movie. I honestly wasn't. So, yeah.
I agree, and that's
I'm
why
a Barbie girl.
that's why I said the beginning of the movie, I was like, all right, I got it. I wanted to see it, but I'm like, it needs to move on from that. And once it did, once they went into the real world, you start to see the themes. You start to see the change in Barbie and Margot's character. You saw a change in Ken, which was just hilarious to me.
Yeah.
It never felt wrong or bad intentions. I knew they were going, and I was shocked. Is Ken the villain of this movie?
Yeah.
At one point, I felt that it was, but it really isn't. Who's the real villain in this movie? Is it just the world?
I think the villain of the movie is society. How society has made things
put women in their box. Put women in their box.
But how made women feel about how they're not good enough if they're not having this great career, or if you have a career, then you're not good enough as being a mom, and if you're only being a mom, you're not doing enough for a career. Like,
and you can't complain or get upset.
You have to look good at all the times. You have to make sure everyone has a home cooked meal. Your kids all have to be perfect. It's like, look, am I talking about myself?
I think you're talking about yourself.
Jesus.
So no, but that's why this movie will connect to some people more than others, and I think it's going to connect to a lot of people. Even connected with me, I understood the message. The acting was superb.
And I was really surprised. There was a lot of men. I would say it was like 50-50. And it wasn't just men with like their wife. Like there was men in this theater, and I was really surprised. I was like, okay, I'm for this.
This is going to do big in the box office.
I hope so.
Depending on when you guys are seeing this, I assume it's going to make over 120 million, maybe. I think word of mouth is going to be good because it's funny, it's unexpected, it's emotional. People are going to talk about this movie. Yeah. I would love to see it again soon. I'm not going to go to the theater again to see it, but
I want to see it again soon. And we must point out, we took our boys to see this, and they actually both really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Gavin was laughing a lot of times. There was one part that Gavin laughed so much at. It was like warming my heart up.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times where they're in movies that could be dominated for boys, and they do get bored and they do get antsy, and they were not like that once. I did miss the beginning, and I kept on wanting to ask you, what was the beach about? Because I had to get up to get the boys.
That was actually in the trailer, if you don't. They just...
Something about a beach.
Yeah. They just keep saying beach. And he says that in the movie, like, I'm going to beat you. Let me beat you off. Like, the innuendos of that. It's just, it was funny.
Okay,
it's actually in the trailer, so you can actually go see it again.
Okay.
But, guys, go see this.
Definitely.
If you agree with us, type dope in the comments. Make this a triple D. If you're new, check out our other reviews and reactions. Hit that like button for us because it helps. Subscribe because we'd love for you to be on the Dope Squad. I haven't called that you guys that in a while, but like and subscribe. We'll check you out later. Peace.